She signed, "Happy birthday to me," to an empty chair, and across the cafe, a stranger's hands moved in response. The first person in 19 years who spoke her language. What happened next didn't just change one birthday. It shattered a father's empire of regret, healed a widower's grief, and proved that sometimes the loudest love is completely silent. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this story will break your heart before it puts it back together. Drop a comment with your city so I can see how far Tessa's story travels. Now, let's begin. My father forgot I existed today. Tessa Carroway signed those words to herself at 2:47 p.m. on her 23rd birthday. Her phone sat on the table next to a slice of untouched chocolate cake. No calls. No texts. 3,000 miles away in Tokyo, Grayson Carroway was closing another deal, shaking hands with investors, building another fortune that was supposed to compensate for everything he never gave her. The waitress brought the cake 20 minutes ago. Tessa lit the candle herself, made the same wish she'd made for 19 years, that someone would try, that her father would learn her language, that she wouldn't spend another birthday alone. She blew out the candle. Then someone signed across the room, "Happy birthday!" Tessa's fork hit her plate. Her heart stopped. Those weren't random hand movements. That was ASL. Perfect, fluent, beautiful American Sign Language. A man about 35 sat 3 tables away. Tired eyes. Carpenter's hands. He wasn't staring at her like most people did, curious, uncomfortable, pitying. He was looking at her face, like she mattered. Tessa's hands moved before her brain caught up. "You know sign?" "My brother was deaf." He stood, walked over. "I'm Logan." Was... Logan's jaw tightened. "He died 2 years ago. Car accident." "I'm sorry." "Can I sit?" Tessa nodded. Logan slid into the booth across from her, and suddenly the cafe felt different. The isolation she'd carried for 19 years cracked just slightly. "You're really good at this," Tessa signed. "Most hearing people who learn for family members aren't fluent. My brother Marcus taught me when we were kids. He was born deaf, adopted when I was 7. My parents learned to sign. I learned to sign, and Marcus..." Logan stopped. Started again. Marcus made silence the loudest thing in any room. He had this laugh, this energy. Then some drunk driver ran a red light, and I spent 2 years wondering why I survived when the best person I knew didn't. Tessa's throat burned. "That's not fair." "No, but neither is this." Logan gestured at her empty booth, the single slice of cake, the phone she kept checking. "Where's your family?" "Tokyo, London, Dubai, wherever the next deal is." "And they couldn't call?" "My father is Grayson Carroway. You might have heard of him. Carroway Development. He builds luxury condos for millionaires. Built me one too. 15th floor penthouse view. Apparently square footage equals love." Logan's hands moved sharply. "But he never learned to sign." "One word. Hello. He learned it 19 years ago when I came home from my first day at deaf school. I was so excited because I finally had a language, finally had a way to communicate that felt like mine. He signed hello, once told me it was beautiful, and never signed again. He hired interpreters instead. Nannies who knew ASL. Tutors. Everyone but him." "That's not a father," Logan signed. "That's a checkbook with a heartbeat." Tessa laughed. It came out broken. "Last year he sent me $50,000 with a note that said, 'Buy yourself something special.' This year, nothing. Too busy. But you know the worst part? I keep hoping. Every single year. I think maybe this time he'll remember. Maybe this time he'll try, and every year, I'm sitting here like an idiot waiting for someone who's never coming." "You're not an idiot." Logan leaned forward. "You're hopeful. There's a difference. Hopeful just means stupid when nothing changes. Then change it. How I can't make him learn. Can't make him care." Logan studied her for a long moment. My brother used to say hearing people are terrified of silence because they think it's empty. But it's not empty. Silence is full of expression, emotion, everything words can't carry. You know that. You live that. Maybe your father doesn't need to hear you. Maybe he needs to see you, really see you. He hasn't managed that in 23 years. Because you've been waiting for him to come to you. Logan's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, grimaced. My son. I have to pick him up from school. He paused. Can I see you again tomorrow? Why? Because it's your birthday and you shouldn't be alone. Because I haven't signed with anyone except in mirrors since Marcus died, and my hands forgot what it felt like to mean something. Because... Logan stopped. Because I want to. Is that enough? Something in Tessa's chest cracked wider. Yes. Tomorrow, here, noon. I'll bring my son. His name is Asher. He's 7 and he's been begging me to teach him the sign language Uncle Marcus used. Maybe you could help? I'd like that. Logan stood. Before leaving, he signed one more thing. Happy birthday, Tessa. For real this time. Then he was gone. Tessa sat there for 10 minutes. The cake was still untouched. Her phone was still silent. But something had shifted. For the first time in 19 years, someone had chosen to speak her language without being paid, without being obligated, without being asked. Someone had simply tried. She walked home to her 15th floor condo, unlocked the door, stepped inside. And there it was. Sitting on her kitchen counter was a package. FedEx overnight from Tokyo. She recognized her father's assistant's handwriting on the label. Tessa opened it. Inside was a Tiffany bracelet. Diamond-studded. Probably cost more than most people made in a year. And a card. Happy birthday, Tessa. Sorry I couldn't call. The Nakamura deal is taking longer than expected. Enjoy this, you deserve something beautiful. Love, Dad. Tessa stared at the bracelet, at the card, at the word love written in her father's handwriting, but delivered through his assistant, shipped overnight, because even his gifts couldn't require his actual presence. She threw the bracelet across the room. It hit the wall, clattered to the floor. $20,000 in diamonds lying there like proof that her father would spend anything except time. Tessa sank to the floor and cried. Not quiet tears, the kind of crying that shook her whole body, that came from 19 years of being seen, but never known, of being provided for, but never loved. She cried until her head ached, until her hands hurt from signing angry words to the empty room, until there was nothing left. Then her phone lit up. FaceTime. Grayson Carroway calling from Tokyo. Tessa almost didn't answer. But she did. She always did. Hope was stupid that way. Her father's face filled the screen. Behind him she could see an expensive hotel room service on the table. He was still in his suit, probably between meetings. Tessa, sweetheart. His voice came through the video interpreter. He'd hired a professional woman who signed his words with mechanical precision. I'm so sorry I missed your call earlier. The Nakamura deal went long, then dinner with the board. You know how these things are. I didn't call? Tessa signed. Her father blinked. Oh, well, happy birthday, darling. 23. My God, where does the time go? Did you get my gift, the bracelet I had Margaret pick it out? She said Tiffany was your favorite. Margaret's never met me. What? Your assistant. Margaret. She's never met me. She doesn't know my favorite anything. She Googled expensive birthday gifts for young women and bought whatever came up first. Grayson's face did that thing it always did. Confusion mixed with annoyance that she wasn't performing gratitude correctly. Tessa, I spent a fortune on that bracelet. I know. You always do. You spend fortunes on things I don't need instead of 5 minutes learning the one thing I've asked for since I was 4 years old. We've talked about this. No. You've dismissed this. There's a difference. Tessa's hands moved faster. I met someone today. A man named Logan. His brother was deaf. He learned ASL as a kid, and he's teaching his 7-year-old son now. That child is learning my language because he wants to talk to me, a 7-year-old. What's your excuse? That's not fair, Tessa. What's not fair is having a father who thinks love comes in jewelry boxes. I have built an empire. Grayson's voice rose. The interpreter's hands moved sharply. I have provided for you in ways my father never provided for me. I have given you a life most people dream of. You've given me everything except you. I'm 61 years old. I can't just... Logan is 35. His son is 7. Strangers at the cafe sign to me more than you do. You're not too old. You're too selfish. The interpreter hesitated before voicing that word. Grayson's face went red. I'm calling on your birthday to wish you well, and this is what I get. Accusations after everything I've done. After everything you've bought, you mean. Tessa. Goodbye, Dad. Enjoy Tokyo. She hung up. Her hands were shaking. She'd never done that before, never pushed back, never demanded. She'd always been the good daughter who took the checks and swallowed the loneliness because at least he was trying in his own way. Except he wasn't. He'd never tried. Not really. Tessa didn't sleep that night. She kept replaying Logan's signs in her head. Happy birthday. 2 words that meant more than 19 years of expensive gifts. The next morning, she arrived at Morrison's Cafe at 11:45. Logan was already there, and he'd brought Asher. The boy had his father's eyes and a smile that could light up rooms. The moment he saw Tessa, his hands started moving clumsy, enthusiastic, beautiful. Hello, I'm Asher. Dad says you're deaf, and that's cool because Uncle Marcus was deaf, and he was the coolest person ever. And Dad's been teaching me signs all morning, and I know 23 words now, 1 for every year. You've been alive, wanna see? Tessa's eyes filled with tears. This 7-year-old child had learned 23 signs overnight because he wanted to talk to her. 23 more than her father had learned in 19 years. Yes, she signed. Show me everything. Asher launched into his repertoire. Hello. Goodbye. Thank you. Please. Happy. Sad. Love. Family. Friend. Dog. Cat. Blue. Red. Eat. Sleep. Play. Book. Birthday. Cake. Party. Help. Sorry. Beautiful. You. He messed up half of them. Got the hand shapes wrong. Confused the movements. It was the most beautiful thing Tessa had ever seen. When he finished, he looked at her with pure pride. Did I do good? You did perfect. Tessa signed. Then she looked at Logan. You stayed up all night teaching him. He wouldn't stop practicing. Kept asking for one more sign, one more word. Finally, I told him we could learn more in the morning if he went to sleep. Logan smiled. It was tired but genuine. He set his alarm for 6 a.m. Made flashcards. This kid is more dedicated than I've ever been to anything. Why? Tessa signed to Asher. Why did you want to learn so much? Asher's face got serious. His hands moved carefully. Because Dad said yesterday was your birthday, and you were alone. And Uncle Marcus always said the worst thing in the world isn't being deaf. It's being alone when you don't have to be. So I wanted to make sure you're not alone anymore. You're my friend now. Okay. Tessa's heart shattered and rebuilt itself in the same moment. Okay. Good. Asher grinned. Can we order food now? I'm starving and Dad said we could get pancakes. They ordered. Pancakes for Asher, coffee for Logan, French toast for Tessa, and for the next 2 hours, they just existed together. Logan told stories about Marcus, about the brother who taught him that words were overrated, about the funeral where everyone spoke and no one signed, and how wrong that felt. Tessa told them about her mother, about the car accident when she was 4, about how her father disappeared emotionally the same day her hearing did. Asher, oblivious to the heavy parts, kept signing everything he saw. Table, cup, window, man, woman, dog. A service dog walked past their booth. Asher's excitement knocked over his orange juice. Asher. Logan grabbed napkins. Sorry, I got excited. Excitement is good, Tessa signed. Excitement means you care. I do care. Asher signed it 3 times for emphasis. You're important. Dad needs more friends. He's been sad since Uncle Marcus died, but today he smiled 19 times. I counted. Logan's face went red. Buddy, maybe don't. It's okay. Tessa looked at Logan. I've been sad too. Maybe we can figure out how to be less sad together. Or, Asher signed with 7-year-old confidence. You could just be happy. That seems easier. They laughed. Real laughter. The kind that felt like medicine. After lunch, they walked to the park. Asher ran ahead, signing to squirrels and getting frustrated when they didn't sign back. Logan and Tessa followed behind. Thank you, Tessa signed. For this, for him, for yesterday. I was planning to spend my birthday alone like every year, and you changed everything. You changed everything for us too. Logan's hands moved slowly. I've been drowning for 2 years. Lost Marcus, then lost my wife 6 months later to cancer. And I've been trying to raise Asher alone, while feeling like I'm failing at everything. But yesterday when I saw you signing to yourself, I remembered what Marcus always said. The world is full of people who need to be seen. All you have to do is look. Your brother sounds like he was amazing. He was. He would have loved you. Would have loved this. Logan gestured at Asher, who was now trying to teach a confused toddler how to sign friend. He always said that connection isn't about words, it's about willingness. And you, Tessa, you're willing. You showed up today not knowing what to expect, and you gave Asher something I can't give him. You gave him purpose. He gave me something too. Hope. Real hope. Not the stupid kind I've been carrying for my father. The kind that's actually based on people showing up. Logan stopped walking. Can I ask you something? Anything. What do you want? Not from your father, not from anyone else. What do you want for yourself? No one had ever asked Tessa that before. She thought about it. Really thought. I want to matter, she signed finally. I want to use my deafness for something bigger than just surviving it. I want to help other deaf kids feel less alone. I want to teach hearing people that we're not broken, we're just different. She stopped. I want to build something. A place where deaf and hearing people can learn from each other. Where families like yours can get help. Where kids like me don't grow up feeling invisible. Then build it. I don't know how. Figure it out. Logan smiled. I'm a carpenter. I build things for a living. Actual things, houses, furniture, decks. But you're talking about building something that matters more than any house I've ever made. And He paused. I'd like to help, if you'll let me. Before Tessa could answer, Asher came running back. Tessa, there's a birthday party over there. He pointed across the park. And they have a piñata, and I told them it's your birthday yesterday, and they said you should come hit the piñata. Can we go? Please. Tessa looked at Logan. Logan shrugged, smiling. They walked over. The party was for a 6-year-old girl named Emma. Her mother took one look at Asher's enthusiastic signing and immediately understood. Is it your birthday? Tessa nodded. Then you have to hit the piñata. Emma, honey, give Tessa a turn. Emma handed over the stick. Tessa stood there, blindfolded, surrounded by children she didn't know at a party she wasn't invited to. Someone spun her around. She swung, missed, swung again, connected. The piñata exploded. Candy rained down. Children screamed with joy. And Tessa stood there blindfold off, watching Asher collect candy and sign, "This is the best day ever," to no one and everyone. Emma's mother approached. "I'm sorry I didn't catch your name." "Tessa." "I'm Jennifer. Happy birthday, Tessa. I hope you don't mind us crashing your celebration." "You didn't crash anything. You made it." Jennifer smiled. Then she did something Tessa didn't expect. She signed, "You're welcome here." "You know sign language?" "A little. My sister is deaf. I'm not fluent like I should be, but I'm trying." Jennifer paused. "It's hard, though. Finding resources, finding people who understand. I keep thinking there should be a place where families can learn together, where deaf and hearing kids can just play and communicate without barriers. Does something like that exist?" Tessa looked at Logan. Logan looked at her. "Not yet," Tessa signed. "But it will." They left the park 2 hours later. Asher crashed in the back seat of Logan's truck, exhausted from sugar and excitement. Logan drove Tessa home, pulled up to her building. "Fancy?" he signed. "Empty." Tessa signed back. "Not anymore. You have us now, whether you like it or not." "I like it." Logan smiled. Then his face got serious. "Tessa, I don't know what this is. This friendship, this connection. I don't know where it's going. But I know that yesterday I was just surviving and today I feel like I'm living again. You did that. You and your birthday and your loneliness that looked like mine. So whatever you need, building that center, confronting your father, learning how to not feel invisible, I'm here. We're here." Tessa's eyes burned. "Thank you." "Don't thank me. Just don't disappear. Promise me you won't disappear." "I promise." She went inside, took the elevator to the 15th floor, unlocked her door. The Tiffany bracelet was still on the floor where she'd thrown it. Tessa picked it up, looked at it. Then she put it in a drawer and decided something. Tomorrow she'd call her father again. Not to yell, not to plead, to give him one last chance. A real ultimatum. Learn my language or lose your daughter. And this time she'd mean it. Because Logan was right. She'd been waiting 19 years for her father to come to her. It was time to stop waiting. It was time to build something new. 3 days after her birthday, Tessa made the call. Not through a video interpreter this time. She used her voice. It was rough, unpracticed. She rarely spoke aloud because why bother when no one listened? But her father needed to hear this. Actually hear it. "Dad." The word came out strange, thick. "It's Tessa." Silence on the other end. Then Grayson's voice shocked. "Tessa, you're speaking. I need you to listen. Really listen. Not through an interpreter. Not through an assistant. You. Listening to me." "Of course, sweetheart. I'm listening." "I'm giving you 6 months." 6 months for what? To learn sign language. Real ASL. Not just hello. Not just enough to look good at charity galas. Fluent enough to have an actual conversation with your daughter. 6 months. If you can't do that, if you won't do that, then I'm done. Tessa, I'm not finished. Her voice shook, but she kept going. I met a 7-year-old boy who learned 23 signs overnight because he wanted to talk to me. His father learned fluent ASL for his brother. Strangers put in more effort than you have in 19 years. So this is it. 6 months. Learn my language or lose your daughter. Your choice. You can't give me an ultimatum like this. I just did. 6 months, Dad, starting now. She hung up before he could respond. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was pounding, but she'd done it. She'd finally drawn a line. Logan called an hour later through video. You okay? I told him, 6 months or I'm done. How do you feel? Terrified. What if he doesn't do it? What if he chooses his empire over me again? Then you'll know. And knowing is better than hoping for something that's never coming. Logan paused. But Tessa, I think he'll surprise you. Not because he's a good father, because losing you will hurt his image, and men like him care about their image. He'll start learning for the wrong reasons, but maybe somewhere along the way the reasons will change. You really think so? I think people are capable of growth when they finally have no other choice. Your father just ran out of choices. That night, Tessa couldn't sleep. She kept imagining her father dismissing the ultimatum, continuing his life exactly as before, and her having to follow through. Having to cut him off completely. Having to accept that she'd never have the father she needed. At 2 a.m. her phone lit up. Email from Tessa Carroway. Subject line: I'm sorry. Tessa's finger hovered over the delete button. Then she opened it. Tessa. I've hired a sign language tutor. Her name is Patricia Morgan. She came highly recommended and will be teaching me 2 hours every day, 7 days a week. I've cleared my schedule. I've told my assistant that unless someone is dying, I'm not to be interrupted during those 2 hours. I don't know if I can become fluent in 6 months. I don't know if I can become the father you deserve, but I'm going to try. For real this time. I love you. I know I haven't shown it the way you needed. I'm going to fix that. Give me the 6 months. Please. Dad. Tessa read it 3 times. Then she cried. Not from sadness. From something that felt dangerously like hope. The next morning, Logan and Asher showed up at her door unannounced. Surprise, Asher signed, bouncing. We brought breakfast. And Dad says we're going on an adventure today, and you have to come. What kind of adventure? Tessa signed. Logan grinned. You said you wanted to build a center, a place where deaf and hearing people can learn from each other. So, we're going to find it. The actual location. Today. Right now. Logan, I don't even have funding. I don't have a business plan. You have a dream. That's enough to start. Come on. They spent the day driving around Nashville. Logan knew the city, knew which neighborhoods were growing, which buildings were sitting empty, which landlords might be open to a non-profit lease. They saw 12 properties. 7 were too expensive. 3 were falling apart. 1 smelled like something died in the walls. 1 was perfect, except it was in the middle of nowhere. Then they found it. An old community center on the east side. 2 stories. Good bones. Empty for 3 years after the previous owners retired. The landlord was a woman named Dorothy Chen, 72, sharp as a knife. Why do you want this place? Dorothy asked. Tessa signed. Logan interpreted. I want to create a space where deaf and hearing families can learn together. Free ASL classes, resources, community events. A place where being deaf isn't treated like a disability, but like a language, a culture, something worth celebrating. Dorothy's face softened. My grandson is deaf. 6 years old. His parents are struggling. They love him, but they don't know how to talk to him. They hired tutors, but it's expensive, and they feel guilty every time they can't afford another session. You're really going to make this free? That's the goal. Then it's yours. First 6 months rent-free while you get started. After that, we'll figure something out. I don't need the money. I need someone who cares. Tessa's eyes filled with tears. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just make it work. My grandson's name is Marcus. Named him after my father. He's why I'm saying yes. Logan's hands froze mid-interpretation. Your grandson's name is Marcus? Yes. Why? My brother was Marcus. He was deaf. He died 2 years ago. Dorothy looked at Logan for a long moment. Then she smiled. Then this was meant to be. When can you start? They started the next day. Logan brought his tools. Tessa brought her laptop and a notebook full of ideas she'd been writing since she was 16. Asher brought his enthusiasm and a toy hammer that he used to help his dad fix everything. The first week was demolition. Ripping out old carpet, tearing down water-damaged walls, cleaning years of neglect. Logan worked in silence mostly, but occasionally he'd stop and sign something to Tessa across the room. Is this wall load-bearing? Or, what color do you want this room? Or once simply, you're incredible. You know that? Tessa would sign back, "You're not so bad yourself." Asher became their mascot. He'd greet anyone who walked by. "Hi. We're building a place where everyone can talk with their hands. You should come back when it's done. My friend Tessa is in charge, and she's the smartest person I know." One afternoon a woman walked in, mid-40s, tired eyes holding the hand of a little girl about 8. "Is this—" The woman paused. "My neighbor said you're opening a center for deaf families." Tessa put down the paintbrush she was holding. "Yes, not open yet, but soon. My daughter Emma is deaf. We've been trying to learn sign language, but it's so expensive, and we don't know where to start, and I feel like I'm failing her every single day." The woman's voice cracked. "Can you really help us?" "Yes," Tessa signed. Logan spoke the words. "That's exactly why we're doing this. What's your name?" "Rachel. And this is Emma." Emma was staring at Tessa with huge eyes. Tessa knelt down, signed directly to her. "Hi, Emma. I'm Tessa. I'm deaf too." Emma's face transformed. She signed back clumsy but eager. "You're like me." "Exactly like you. And soon this place is going to be somewhere you can come and meet other kids like us and teach your mom how to sign and not feel alone." "Okay. Okay." Rachel was crying. "When do you open?" 6 weeks, Logan said. "Come back then. We'll be ready." After Rachel and Emma left, Logan turned to Tessa. 6 weeks, I said 6 weeks. Did I just commit us to an impossible deadline? Yes. Are we going to make it? We have to. Tessa looked around at the half-demolished, half-renovated space. That little girl needs this. Her mother needs this. How many other families are out there feeling exactly like them? Hundreds, maybe thousands. Then we work faster. They worked 16-hour days. Logan recruited friends from his construction crew to help. Tessa reached out to every deaf organization in Tennessee, every ASL teacher she knew, everyone who might spread the word. Asher helped paint the walls bright yellow because he insisted happy places needed happy colors. 3 weeks in, Tessa got a video call from her father. She almost didn't answer, but she did. Grayson appeared on screen. He looked tired, older, but his hands moved immediately. "Hello, daughter." It was clumsy. The hand shape for daughter was wrong, but he tried. "Hi, Dad," Tessa signed back. "I'm learning. Patricia is tough. Makes me practice 2 hours every day plus homework. I'm not good yet, but I'm trying." His signs were slow, deliberate. "How are you?" "Building something, a center for deaf families." Grayson's face showed surprise. "What?" Tessa explained. About the center, about Logan and Asher, about Dorothy, and the building about Rachel and Emma. Her hands moved fast, excited, and she had to slow down so her father could follow. When she finished, Grayson was quiet for a long moment. Then he signed, "I'm proud of you." It was the first time he'd said those words in her language. Tessa's throat burned. "Thank you. How much do you need?" "Dad, I don't want your money." "I know, but how much do you need to make this work? Really work. Not just survive, but thrive." Tessa thought about it. About everything they needed: furniture, technology, resources, staff. 200,000 to start, maybe more. You'll have 500,000 by tomorrow. And Tessa, I'm not giving you this because I think money fixes everything. I'm giving you this because you're building something that matters and I want to be part of it, even if it's just financially. For now. For now. Patricia says I'll be conversational in 4 months, fluent in 8. I'm going to prove her wrong. I'm going to be fluent in 6. Because I promised you 6 months and I'm not going to fail again. After the call ended, Tessa sat there for 10 minutes. Her father was trying. Actually trying. Not just sending money and disappearing. He was learning. He was showing up. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a start. Logan found her crying in what would eventually be the classroom. "What happened?" "My father. He's learning. He signed to me. It was terrible, but he tried, and he's giving us funding, and I don't know what to feel." Logan sat down next to her. "Feel everything. Feel angry that it took this long. Feel hopeful that he's trying. Feel scared that he might quit. Feel relieved that maybe finally he's showing up. All of it's valid. What if he stops? What if he gets bored or busy and gives up? Then you'll survive. You survived 19 years without him really being present. You'll survive if he disappears again." "But Tessa, I don't think he's going to disappear. I think he's terrified of losing you, and that fear is finally bigger than his pride." "How do you know?" "Because I've been there. When my wife was dying, when Marcus died, I had this moment where I realized I could either let grief destroy me or I could use it to become someone my son needed. Your father's having his moment. Whether he succeeds is up to him. But he's trying. Give him credit for that." Tessa leaned her head on Logan's shoulder. "When did you get so wise?" "Probably when a beautiful woman called me out for learning her language when her own father wouldn't. You inspire growth in people, Tessa. You made me want to be better. You're making your father want to be better. That's your gift." They sat there in the empty room that would soon be full of families, full of hope, full of connection. And for the first time in her life, Tessa felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. The next 5 weeks were chaos. Grayson's money arrived as promised. They hired staff, 3 ASL teachers, 2 coordinators, 1 administrator. They bought furniture tablets for teaching books, toys for the kids area. They painted every wall. They installed lights that could flash for deaf students who couldn't hear bells or alarms. They created a sensory room for kids who got overwhelmed. Asher appointed himself official greeter. He practiced his welcome speech in sign language until he could do it perfectly. "Welcome to the Bridge Center. We're so happy you're here. I'm Asher, and I can help you find anything you need." Dorothy Chen brought her grandson, Marcus, to see the progress. The little boy walked in, saw Asher signing, and his face lit up. Within 10 minutes, they were best friends, signing to each other in that unfiltered way kids do when they find someone who speaks their language. Dorothy cried. "I've never seen him this comfortable around another child. Usually he's so shy because the other kids don't understand him." "That's why we're doing this," Tessa signed. "So no kid has to feel like that again." 2 days before opening, Logan was installing the last sign above the door. "The Bridge Center," in letters big enough to see from the street. Tessa stood below watching. "It's real." She signed up to him. "This is actually real." Logan climbed down. "Of course it's real. You made it real." "We made it real." "Okay, we made it real. Together." Logan paused. "Tessa, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "What are we doing here, this thing between us? This friendship or whatever it is. What is it?" Tessa's heart started racing. "I don't know. What do you want it to be?" "I want—" Logan stopped, started again. "I haven't felt like this since my wife died. Haven't wanted to feel like this because feeling means risking, and risking means possibly losing again. But you make me want to risk it. You make me want to try." "Try what?" "This." Logan signed and spoke simultaneously. "I'm falling for you. Have been since the moment I saw you signing happy birthday to yourself. And I know the timing's weird, and we're in the middle of opening this center, and you're dealing with your father, and I have Asher to think about, but I can't keep pretending I just want to be your friend when what I really want is—" Tessa kissed him. Right there in the middle of the center they'd built together, surrounded by paint cans and drop cloths and dreams coming true. She kissed him, and he kissed her back like he'd been waiting his whole life for this moment. When they pulled apart, Logan was smiling. "So that's a yes." "That's a yes." "To what exactly?" "To trying. To risking. To whatever this is." Tessa's hands moved softly. "I'm falling for you too. Have been since you signed happy birthday when nobody else remembered. You saw me when I was invisible. You made me feel possible. So yes, let's try. Asher's voice came from the doorway. Are you guys kissing gross? But also good, because Dad's been talking about you literally every single day, and it was getting embarrassing. They both turned. Asher stood there grinning, holding a box of supplies. How long have you been there? Logan signed. Long enough to know you finally told her you like her. About time, Dad. I've been waiting forever. Tessa laughed. Forever. It's been 5 weeks. That's forever when you're 7. Asher walked over, looked up at both of them. So does this mean Tessa's going to be around all the time now? If she wants to be, Logan signed. I want to be, Tessa signed. Good. Asher hugged her. You're my best friend. Well, you and Marcus the kid. But you're my best grown-up friend. And Dad needs someone who makes him smile that much. Mom would have liked you. She always said Dad needed someone who challenged him. You challenge him in a good way. Tessa's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, Asher. You're welcome. Now can we go home? I'm starving and Dad promised pizza if we finish today. They locked up the center, drove to Logan's house, a small 2-bedroom, with a yard full of Asher's toys, and a workshop in the garage where Logan built furniture on weekends. It was nothing like Tessa's sterile penthouse. It was warm, lived in, real. Over pizza, Asher asked, Tessa, are you going to teach my class when the center opens? What class? The kids' class. For hearing kids who want to learn sign language. Dad signed us up. Me and Marcus the kid. We're going to be in it together. I didn't know we were running a kids' class yet. Logan shrugged. I might have added it to the schedule. Figured if Asher wants to learn more, other hearing kids probably do too. You don't have to teach it. We can hire someone. No, Tessa signed. I want to teach it. I want to teach every kid who walks through those doors that sign language isn't weird or wrong or something to pity. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's worth learning. See? Asher said through a mouthful of pizza. She's perfect for it. That night, Logan drove Tessa home, walked her to her door. Thank you, she signed. For today, for everything, for seeing me. Thank you for letting me. Logan kissed her forehead. Tomorrow's the big day. Opening day. How do you feel? Terrified. Good. That means it matters. What if nobody comes? They'll come. But Tessa, even if nobody came, even if this whole thing failed, you did something incredible. You took your pain and turned it into purpose. That's heroic. I don't feel heroic. You are anyway. After Logan left, Tessa went inside. Her penthouse felt different now. Less like a prison, more like a place she was temporarily staying until she figured out where she actually belonged. Her phone buzzed. Video call from her father. She answered. Grayson signed immediately. Tomorrow is opening day. Yes. I'm flying back. I'll be there. Dad, you don't have to. Yes, I do. You're my daughter, and you built something extraordinary, and I'm going to be there. In person. Signing. Supporting you. Please let me do this. Tessa's throat tightened. Okay. Okay. Grayson smiled. I'm still not fluent. Patricia says I'm at intermediate level. But I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. And Tessa, I'm sorry. For all of it. For 19 years of being absent. For making you feel invisible. For acting like money could replace presence. I can't undo the past. But I can show up for your future. Starting tomorrow. I'd like that. Me too. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to change lives, including mine. The call ended. Tessa sat in her empty penthouse thinking about opening day, about her father flying back, about Logan and Asher, about all the families who would walk through the doors of the Bridge Center looking for connection. And for the first time in 19 years, she felt like maybe finally she wasn't alone anymore. Maybe she never had to be alone again. Opening day started at 6 a.m. when Tessa couldn't sleep anymore. She got to the Bridge Center at 7. Logan was already there setting up chairs in rows. He turned when the door opened, signed across the room. Couldn't sleep either. Too nervous. Me too. Logan walked over, took her hands. But we're ready. Look at this place. Look at what we built. Tessa looked around. The space had transformed completely. Yellow walls covered in framed photos of deaf historical figures. Laurent Clerc, Helen Keller, Marley Matlin, Niall DeMarco. Tables arranged for classes. A kids' corner with books and toys. A resource library. Everything they'd dreamed about for 6 weeks was real now. What if nobody shows up? Tessa signed. Then we wait, and we try again tomorrow, and the day after, until people realize this place exists, and they need it. At 8:30, Asher arrived with Dorothy and her grandson, Marcus the kid. The two boys immediately started racing around signing, "We're here, we're here, the center is open." At 8:45, Rachel showed up with Emma. The little girl was wearing her best dress and clutching her mother's hand so tightly, her knuckles were white. "We're the first ones here," Rachel said nervously. "Is that okay?" "You're perfect," Tessa signed. Logan spoke. "Emma, do you want to see the kids' room?" Emma nodded shyly. Asher grabbed her hand. "Come on. There's books and games and everything set up so we can all talk together. Marcus is here too." The three kids disappeared into the children's area. At 9, the official opening time, 12 families stood outside waiting. Tessa's hands started shaking. "That's 12 families. 12. "That's 12 families who need what we're offering," Logan said. "Let's go meet them." They opened the doors. The families poured in. Parents with deaf children. Deaf parents with hearing children. Grandparents trying to learn for grandkids. Siblings wanting to communicate better. A teenage boy whose best friend was deaf. A woman whose coworker used sign language, and she wanted to understand. Tessa greeted each one personally. "Welcome to the Bridge Center. We're so glad you're here." One mother started crying the moment she walked in. "I've been looking for something like this for 3 years. My son is 4 and deaf, and I feel like I'm failing him every single day because I can't afford classes and I don't know what I'm doing and—" "You're not failing," Tessa signed. Logan interpreted. "You're here. That's what matters. You showed up. We're going to help you. I promise." By 9:30, 25 families had arrived. By 10:37. At 10:15, Grayson Carroway walked through the door. Tessa saw him and froze. Her father stood in the entrance wearing jeans and a casual shirt. She'd never seen him in anything but suits. He looked nervous, old, human in a way he never had before. Then his hands moved. "Hello, daughter. I'm proud of you." The signs were slow but correct. Every hand shape right. Every movement intentional. Tessa crossed the room, signed back. "You came. I said I would. I'm done breaking promises." Grayson looked around at the families, the kids playing the parents, learning the staff helping. "This is incredible. You built this in 6 weeks." "Logan built most of it. I just had the idea." Ideas change the world. Buildings just hold them. Grayson paused. "Can I help today?" "Whatever you need. I'll do it." "You want to help?" "I want to be useful. I want to be here. Tell me what to do." Logan appeared at Tessa's side. "You must be Grayson. I'm Logan Hayes." Grayson shook his hand, then signed. "Thank you for helping my daughter, for seeing what I missed." "She made it easy," Logan signed back. "She's extraordinary." "I know. Took me too long to realize it." Grayson turned to Tessa. "Put me to work, please." Tessa assigned him to the welcome desk, checking in families, handing out schedules, answering basic questions. Grayson Carroway, real estate tycoon worth $200 million, spent opening day greeting strangers and trying to sign "welcome" without messing up the hand shape. At 11, the first class started. Tessa taught it herself. Beginning ASL for parents. 15 adults crammed into the classroom, all desperate to communicate with their children. Sign language isn't just hand movements, Tessa signed. Logan voiced from the back of the room. It's expression, emotion, your whole body talking. When you sign, you're not translating English. You're thinking in a completely different language. And that's beautiful. That's what we're going to learn together. She taught them the alphabet first, then basic signs. Hello, thank you, I love you, more, help, please. One father kept messing up the sign for I love you, getting his fingers tangled. I can't do this. My hands don't work like that. Yes, they do, Tessa signed. Try again. Slower this time. He tried. Failed. Tried again. Got it. His face transformed. I did it. Oh my God, I can tell my daughter I love her. In her language. I can actually tell her. He started crying. His wife started crying. Half the class started crying. Tessa's throat burned, but she kept teaching. The kids' class met at the same time in the next room. Asher co-taught with one of the ASL instructors, showing the other hearing kids how to sign through games and songs. Emma, Marcus the kid, and 3 other deaf children helped demonstrate patient with every mistake, encouraging with every success. You're doing great. Asher signed to a shy 6-year-old who kept forgetting the sign for friend. Uncle Marcus always said mistakes are just your brain learning. So make lots of mistakes. That means you're getting smarter. By noon, they'd taught 3 classes. By 2 p.m. 5. By 4, 7. Families kept coming. Word was spreading. By the time they closed at 6:62, families had walked through the doors of the Bridge Center on opening day. 62 families who needed exactly what Tessa had built. After everyone left, the staff collapsed in the main room. Exhausted. Exhilarated. Overwhelmed. That was insane, one of the ASL teachers signed. I've never seen turnout like that for a first day. People are desperate for this, another teacher added. We had parents asking when we're open tomorrow, when the next class is, if we do private lessons. This is going to be huge. Dorothy walked over to Tessa. My grandson asked if he can come every day. He made 3 new friends. 3. He's never had deaf friends before. You did that. We all did that. No, you started it. You had the courage to say this needs to exist. That's leadership. That's love. After Dorothy left, Tessa found her father still at the welcome desk. He was reading through the sign language dictionary they kept there for visitors practicing hand shapes. Dad, you can go. It's been a long day. Grayson looked up, signed carefully. I don't want to go. I want to stay. I want to learn more. I want to understand your world. Why now? After 19 years, why now? Grayson set down the dictionary. His hands moved slowly, deliberately. Because I almost lost you. Because you gave me an ultimatum, and I realized I'd spent 19 years building an empire and forgetting to build a relationship with my daughter. Because I'm 61 years old and I've accomplished everything I set out to accomplish except being a good father, and that's the only thing that actually matters. You're trying now. That counts for something. Does it, or is it too late? Tessa sat down next to him. Signed honestly. I don't know. I want it to not be too late. But Dad, you hurt me. For 19 years you hurt me, by not showing up, by not trying, by acting like my deafness was an inconvenience, instead of part of who I am. You can't just fix that with 6 weeks of tutoring and showing up to opening day. I know. But... Tessa's hands hesitated. But I want to give you a chance. I want to believe you're serious this time. So, I'm going to watch. I'm going to see if you keep learning, if you keep showing up, if you actually change, or if this is just another thing you throw money at and then forget about when it gets hard. It won't be like that. Prove it. Grayson nodded. I will, every day, for as long as it takes. Logan appeared in the doorway. Tessa, we should lock up. Asher fell asleep on the couch in my office. Long day for a 7-year-old. I'll help clean up first. Already done. Dorothy's grandson helped. That kid has more energy than should be legal. Grayson stood. I'll go, but Tessa. Tomorrow. Can I come back tomorrow? We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Come whenever you want. I'll be here Tuesday, 9 a.m. I want to take the beginner class, the one you teach. Dad, you're intermediate level. You'd be bored. I don't care about level. I care about learning from you. Let me do this. Please. Tessa looked at her father, really looked at him. He was sincere, scared, desperate not to fail again. Okay, 9 a.m. Tuesday. After Grayson left, Logan carried Asher to the truck. Tessa walked with them to the parking lot. Your father seemed different today. Logan signed one-handed while Asher slept on his shoulder. He was. I don't know if it'll last, but today he tried. That's all you can ask for. Progress, not perfection. Tessa smiled. Where'd you learn that therapy? AA meetings. After Marcus died, I went to grief counseling, and they hammered that into my head. Progress, not perfection. Some days you move forward. Some days you just don't move backward. Both count. Is that what today was progress? Today was a miracle. Logan shifted Asher's weight. 62 families, Tessa. 62. You changed 62 families' lives today. And tomorrow, there'll be more. And the day after. And eventually, this place is going to be known across Tennessee as the place where deaf and hearing people learn to understand each other. Because of you. Because of us. Okay? Us. Partners. Logan leaned down, kissed her softly. I'm falling harder for you every day. You know that. I'm falling too. Good. Keep falling with me. Tuesday came. Grayson showed up at 8:45, 15 minutes early. He sat in the back of Tessa's 9 a.m. beginner class with 14 parents who were just starting their sign language journey. Tessa taught the same lesson she taught opening day. Alphabet. Basic signs. But this time her father was in the room. Learning, trying, making mistakes, and trying again. During the break, one of the mothers approached Grayson. I recognize you. You're Grayson Carroway, the developer. I am. What are you doing in a beginner ASL class? Grayson glanced at Tessa across the room. Learning to talk to my daughter. Should have done it 19 years ago, but I'm doing it now. That's really brave. It's not brave. It's overdue. After class, Grayson stayed late. Practiced signs with Tessa until his hands ached. The sign for proud. He repeated for the 10th time. I keep forgetting the movement. It starts at your chest and moves up, Tessa demonstrated. Like your pride is rising from your heart. Grayson tried again. Got it right. I'm proud of you, he signed. Is that correct? Yes. Good, because I am proud of you, this center, everything you're building. I know I've said it before, but I want to say it until you believe I mean it. I'm starting to believe it, Tessa signed. But Dad, words are easy. Even signs are easy once you learn them. It's the showing up that's hard. It's the consistency. Can you do that? Can you keep showing up even when it's not exciting anymore, when the newness wears off, when it's just routine? Yes. Promise me. Really promise me. Grayson's hands moved carefully. I promise I will show up, every Tuesday and Thursday, for class, and every other day if you need me. I promise I will keep learning until I'm fluent. I promise I will stop treating you like an obligation and start treating you like my daughter. And if I fail, if I slip back into old habits, you have permission to cut me off completely. No more chances. This is it. Deal. They shook on it. Then Grayson hugged her. It was awkward, they weren't used to physical affection. But it was real. Thank you for not giving up on me, he said out loud, his voice rough. Tessa pulled back, signed, Thank you for finally trying. Over the next 3 weeks, the Bridge Center became exactly what Tessa dreamed it would be. Classes filled up, families kept coming, word spread through schools, hospitals, social media. Local news ran a story about the nonprofit offering free ASL classes. Donations started arriving. Small amounts, mostly $20 here, $50 there, but it added up. Grayson came to every Tuesday and Thursday class, never missed one. He progressed from beginner to intermediate to advanced. His signs got smoother faster, more natural. He started having actual conversations with Tessa without an interpreter for the first time in 19 years. One Thursday after class, they sat in the empty classroom. "Tell me about your mother," Grayson signed. "In sign language. I've never heard you talk about her in your language." Tessa's hands moved slowly. "She was the only person who never made me feel broken. When I lost my hearing after the accident, everyone treated me differently. Doctors, family, even you. But Mom learned sign language immediately. Within 6 months, she was fluent. She made it an adventure. She'd sign stories to me at bedtime, sign songs in the car, sign jokes at breakfast. She made deafness feel like a superpower instead of a disability." "I was so scared after the accident," Grayson signed. "Scared I'd lose you like I almost lost you in the crash. Scared I wouldn't know how to raise a deaf daughter. So I threw money at the problem and disappeared into work, because work I understood. Being a father to a child I couldn't communicate with that terrified me." "So you just stopped trying?" "Yes. And that was the biggest mistake of my life." "Why didn't you learn back then, when she was learning?" Grayson's hands dropped to his lap. He spoke instead of signing, his voice breaking. "Because every time I tried to practice, every time I looked at sign language books or videos, I saw the accident. I saw the car flipping. I saw you in the hospital. I saw your mother crying because our daughter would never hear her voice again. Learning sign language meant accepting what happened. And I couldn't accept it. So I ran." Tessa's eyes filled with tears. "You ran for 19 years. "I did. And I'm so sorry. I needed you. After Mom died, I needed you so badly, and you weren't there. You sent nannies and tutors and money, but you weren't there. I know. Do you really know what it was like, being 12 years old and losing my mom and having a father who couldn't even tell me he loved me in my language, who hired someone else to translate 'I love you' at her funeral?" Grayson started crying. Actually crying. "No, I don't know. I can't know. But I'm here now. I'm learning now. And I know I can't undo those years. I can't give you the father you needed when you were 12 or 15 or 20, but I can be the father you need now, if you'll let me." Tessa wiped her eyes, signed through tears. "I want to let you. I want to trust this is real. But I'm scared. What if you disappear again?" "I won't." "How do I know that?" "You don't. You just have to trust. And I have to earn that trust every single day. I understand that. I'm ready for that." They sat in silence for a minute. Then Tessa signed, "There's a family event next Saturday. Here at the center. Picnic in the park next door. Games, food, families mixing together. Will you come, not as a donor, as my dad? I'll be there. And Dad, bring casual clothes, no suits. Just jeans and a regular shirt. I want you to show up as a person, not as Grayson Carroway, the developer." "I can do that." Saturday came. The park next to the Bridge Center filled with families. Kids ran around playing tag. Parents sat on blankets talking, staff members organized games. Asher and Marcus the kid led a group of children in a scavenger hunt where all the clues were in sign language. Logan manned the grill flipping burgers while signing with one hand. Tessa helped set up tables, greeted families, made sure everyone felt included. At noon, Grayson arrived. Jeans, navy blue t-shirt, sneakers. He looked like a normal grandfather, not a millionaire developer. "Am I dressed right?" he signed to Tessa. "Perfect. What should I do?" "Just be here. Talk to people. Meet the families. Be yourself." Grayson nodded nervously. Then he walked over to where Logan was grilling. "Need help," Grayson signed. Logan looked surprised. "You grill?" "I used to, before I got too important for normal activities. I'd like to try again." Logan handed him the spatula. "Burgers need to flip in 2 minutes. Hot dogs are already done." They grilled together in comfortable silence. Then Grayson signed, "Thank you." "For what?" "For being there when I wasn't. For seeing my daughter. For loving her the way she deserves." Logan stopped mid-flip. "You know about us." "I'm not blind. I see the way she looks at you, the way you look at her, the way your son has adopted her as family. I'm grateful, truly." "I love her," Logan signed. "Just so we're clear, this isn't casual for me. I'm all in." "Good. She deserves someone who's all in." Grayson paused. "And your son, Asher. He's a remarkable kid." "He is. Gets it from his mother. She taught him kindness before she died." "I'm sorry for your loss." "I'm sorry for yours. Tessa told me about your wife, about the accident." Grayson's jaw tightened. "I handled it badly. Pushed everyone away. Pushed Tessa away. Spent 19 years running from grief instead of dealing with it." "It's not too late to stop running." "That's what I'm trying to do." They finished grilling. Served food to 73 people, families from the center. Staff members, volunteers, kids. Everyone ate together on blankets spread across the grass. Tessa sat with Logan and Asher. Grayson sat nearby with Dorothy and her grandson. At one point, Marcus the kid ran over to Grayson. "Are you Tessa's dad?" the boy signed. "I am." "She's really nice. She taught me that being deaf isn't bad. It's just different. Is that true?" Grayson looked at Tessa across the grass. She was laughing at something Asher signed. Her whole face lit up with joy. "Yes," Grayson signed to Marcus. "That's true. And I'm sorry it took me so long to understand that." "It's okay. My grandma says growing up isn't just for kids. Adults have to grow up too sometimes." "Your grandma is very wise." After lunch they played games. 3-legged races, tug-of-war, relay races where every instruction was in sign language. Deaf and hearing kids competed together, helping each other, laughing when they messed up, celebrating when they succeeded. Grayson ended up on a tug-of-war team with Asher, Marcus, Emma, and 3 other kids. They competed against a team of parents. "Pull harder, Mr. Carroway," Asher shouted, then signed the same thing. They pulled, strained, lost anyway. The kids collapsed laughing. Grayson fell backward onto the grass laughing too. When was the last time he'd laughed like that? When was the last time he'd just played? Tessa appeared above him, looking down. "You okay, old man?" "I'm perfect," Grayson signed from the ground. "Absolutely perfect." As the sun started to set, families began leaving. Hugs all around. Promises to see each other Tuesday. Kids exhausted but happy. Parents grateful. Logan started packing up the grill. Asher helped collapse tables. Dorothy and Marcus said goodbye. Soon, it was just Tessa, Logan, Asher, and Grayson left in the park. "Today was good," Grayson signed. "It was," Tessa agreed. "Can I come to the next one?" "There's one every month. You're welcome at all of them." Grayson smiled. Then he signed something he'd been practicing all week. "I love you, Tessa. I should have said it more. In your language. In any language. But I'm saying it now. I love you." Tessa's throat tightened. "I love you too, Dad." They hugged. A real hug this time. Not awkward. Just a father and daughter who'd spent 19 years apart, finally learning how to be close. When they pulled apart, Asher was watching with tears in his eyes. "That was beautiful," he signed. "Uncle Marcus would have loved this. All of it. The center, the families. You guys learning to talk to each other. He always said the best thing about sign language is that it makes you pay attention. You can't sign while looking away. You have to face each other. You have to really see each other. He was right. Tessa signed. That's exactly what sign language does. It forces connection. They finished cleaning up, said goodnight. Grayson drove back to his empty mansion. Logan drove Asher home, and Tessa stood in the park alone for a moment, watching the sun set over the bridge center. She'd built this. With Logan, with her father's money, with Dorothy's generosity, with the help of so many people. But the dream was hers. And it was working. It was actually working. 3 months after opening day, the Bridge Center had served 247 families. Tessa kept count. Every single one. Every parent who walked through the doors desperate to communicate with their child. Every deaf kid who finally found friends who spoke their language. Every hearing sibling who learned to sign so they could include their brother or sister. Every grandparent who took classes, even though their hands hurt from arthritis, because love was stronger than pain. 247 families who needed exactly what they'd built. But on a Tuesday morning in late February, Tessa sat in her office staring at the budget spreadsheet and felt her stomach drop. Logan knocked on the open door. "You okay? We're running out of money." "What?" Tessa turned the laptop toward him. Grayson's initial funding covered construction equipment and 3 months of operations. We're in month 4. Donations are coming in, but not enough to cover staff salaries, rent, utilities, supplies. We have maybe 6 weeks left, 8 if we're lucky. Logan sat down heavily. How much do we need? $30,000 a month to keep running at current capacity. More if we want to expand services like people keep asking. We'd need almost $200,000 to make it through the rest of the year. Can your father help again? I can't keep asking him for money. That's exactly what I didn't want this to be another thing he throws cash at instead of actually being present. He's been showing up, Logan. Really showing up. Learning, helping, changing. I won't reduce that to him being my ATM again. So, what do we do? Tessa closed the laptop. We figure it out. We apply for grants. We fundraise. We find sponsors. We do whatever it takes because we can't close. These families need us. Agreed. So let's get creative. That afternoon, they called an emergency staff meeting. All 5 staff members crammed into Tessa's small office. We need ideas, Tessa signed. How do we raise money without compromising what we do? Fundraising gala, suggested Maria, one of the ASL teachers. Charge admission, get sponsors, auction off donated items. Grant applications, added James, the administrator. There are dozens of nonprofits offering funding for disability services, education, community programs. I can start writing applications immediately. Corporate sponsorships, said Patricia, another teacher. Local businesses get tax write-offs and good PR. We get sustained funding. All good ideas, Logan signed. Let's do all of them. Maria, you coordinate the gala. James, you handle grants. Patricia, you reach out to businesses. Tessa and I will work on a crowdfunding campaign and media outreach. We have 6 weeks. Let's make them count. They worked 18-hour days. James submitted 11 grant applications. Patricia contacted 63 local businesses. Maria planned a gala for April 15th. Tessa and Logan launched a crowdfunding page titled Keep the Bridge Standing, with a video showing the families they'd helped, the kids who'd found community, the parents who'd learned to communicate with their children. Within 48 hours, they'd raised $8,000. Within a week, $15,000. But it wasn't enough. Not nearly enough. On Thursday, Grayson showed up for his regular class and immediately noticed something was wrong. What's happening? He signed to Tessa after class. You look stressed. We're running out of money. Grayson's face hardened. How much do you need? Dad, no. I'm not asking you for more money. I'm not offering as your father. I'm offering as someone who believes in what you're doing. How much? We can't keep depending on you. Tessa. Grayson's hands moved firmly. I have spent 19 years throwing money at problems instead of solving them. But this isn't me avoiding the real work. I'm here twice a week. I'm learning. I'm present. Let me help in the way I'm actually good at, please. How much do you need? Tessa's resistance crumbled. $200,000 to get through the year. But Dad, done. I'll transfer it tomorrow. Dad, wait. I can't just take. You're not taking. I'm investing. In you. In this center. In every family who walks through those doors. This is the best thing I've ever put money into. Better than any building I've ever constructed. Because this place builds something that actually matters. It builds connection. Tessa hugged him. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep changing lives. That's all the thanks I need. But that night, Tessa couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the money, about depending on her father again, about what it meant to accept his help after fighting so hard to prove she could do things independently. At 2 a.m., Logan called via video. Can't sleep either, he signed when she answered. How'd you know? Because I know you. You're worried about taking your father's money. Am I wrong to be worried? No, but you're also not wrong to accept help. Tessa, you're not failing by accepting funding. You're succeeding by doing whatever it takes to keep the center open. Pride doesn't help those 247 families. The center being open helps them. But what if people think I'm just using my father's money? What if they think this whole thing is just some rich girl's vanity project? Then they're idiots who don't see what you've actually built. Logan leaned closer to the camera. You want to know what I see? I see a woman who took her deepest pain and turned it into purpose. I see someone who works 18-hour days, not because she has to, but because she cares. I see a leader who learns every single family's story, who remembers every kid's name, who stays late to help parents practice signs until they get it right. That's not vanity. That's love. Tessa's eyes filled with tears. I'm scared of failing. What if we can't sustain this? What if the grants don't come through, and the gala doesn't raise enough, and we close in 6 months anyway? Then we'll have helped 247 families for 6 months, instead of 0 families forever. But we're not going to close. We're going to fight like hell to keep the doors open. Together. Together, Tessa signed. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow we have 16 families scheduled, and you need to be sharp to teach that 9 a.m. class. You're coming tomorrow. I'm there every day, Tessa. Where else would I be? She fell asleep thinking about that. About Logan showing up every single day. About her father showing up twice a week without fail. About Asher bursting through the doors every afternoon after school to help with whatever needed helping. About all the people who'd chosen to be present in her life when for so long she'd felt invisible. The next morning, local news called. We'd like to do a follow-up story, the producer said through the video interpreter. Our first piece about the Bridge Center got incredible response. People want to know how you're doing. Would you be willing to do an interview? Yes, Tessa signed. When? Today, if possible. Our reporter Sarah Chen can be there by 2. Sarah Chen arrived with a camera crew at exactly 2 p.m. She was a young Asian woman with kind eyes and hands that moved immediately into sign language when she saw Tessa. You sign? Tessa asked, surprised. My younger sister is deaf. That's why I wanted to cover this story personally. What you're doing here matters to me. Sarah looked around at the families taking classes, the kids playing, the parents learning. This is incredible. How many families are you serving now? 247. But we're facing a funding crisis. We need community support to keep going. Can I talk to some of the families? Get their stories. For the next 2 hours, Sarah interviewed everyone. Rachel and Emma, who'd been coming since opening day. Emma signed on camera. Before this place, I was lonely. Now I have friends. Real friends who understand me. Dorothy and Marcus the kid who'd become center regulars. Dorothy said, My grandson has confidence now. He knows being deaf isn't something to hide. It's something to celebrate. Asher, who insisted on being interviewed. Tessa is my best friend. Well, one of my best friends. And this place taught me that talking isn't just with your mouth, it's with your heart. Uncle Marcus would be so proud. Grayson, who showed up mid-interview. I'm Tessa's father. I spent 19 years failing her because I never learned her language. This center gave me the chance to finally become the father she deserved. If you're watching this and you have a deaf family member and you haven't learned to sign, start today. Don't wait 19 years like I did. And Logan, who spoke while signing. This center saved my life. After my brother Marcus died, I was drowning in grief. Meeting Tessa, helping build this place, watching families connect, it reminded me why my brother loved sign language so much. It forces you to pay attention. It forces you to see people. We need more of that in the world. Sarah saved Tessa for last. What do you want people to know about the Bridge Center? Tessa's hands moved steadily. I want people to know that deafness isn't a disability that needs fixing. It's a language, a culture, a way of experiencing the world that's just as valid as any other. This center exists because for too long, deaf people have been expected to adapt to a hearing world. We're creating a space where hearing people adapt to, where everyone meets in the middle, where connection matters more than communication method. And I want people to know we need help. Donations, volunteers, spreading the word. We can't do this alone. The interview aired 3 days later during the evening news. Then again during the late broadcast. Then it went viral on social media. The crowdfunding page exploded. 8,000 in one day. 15,000 the next day. 22,000 the day after that. Messages poured in from across Tennessee, across the country, across the world. I'm deaf, and I wish I'd had this growing up. My son is deaf, and we've been struggling. We're driving 4 hours to visit your center. I'm a hearing person who never thought about deaf culture. Thank you for educating me. Here's $500. Keep fighting. Local businesses started calling. A restaurant wanted to sponsor free lunch for families one Saturday a month. A bookstore wanted to donate sign language books. A construction company offered to build an addition to the center at cost. The gala sold out in 6 days. All 200 tickets gone. They had to add another 50 seats. Within 2 weeks of the news story airing, they'd raised $97,000. Tessa stood in her office, staring at the crowdfunding total, tears streaming down her face. Logan found her like that. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, everything's right. We did it. We're going to make it. We were always going to make it. I told you. Together. Together, Tessa repeated. Then she kissed him, long and deep and full of gratitude and love and relief. When they pulled apart, Asher was standing in the doorway covering his eyes. You guys are always kissing. It's so gross. But also, I'm happy because Dad smiles like 1,000,000 times a day now, and that's because of you, Tessa. So, I guess the kissing is okay, but maybe warn me first. They both laughed. Logan ruffled his son's hair. Sorry, buddy. Sometimes we forget you're around. I'm always around. I live with you. Also, Tessa basically lives with us now, so I'm always around both of you. Get used to it. Tessa froze. I don't basically live with you. You're there like 5 nights a week. Asher signed. That's basically living there. Which is good because our house is way better with you in it. It feels like a family again instead of just me and Dad being sad. Logan's face went soft. Ash? It's true, Dad. We were sad. After Mom died and Uncle Marcus died, we were really, really sad. But Tessa made us less sad. She made us happy again. So maybe she should officially move in instead of just basically living there. That would make sense, right? Tessa looked at Logan. Logan looked at Tessa. That's a big step. Tessa signed carefully. We've only been together 4 months. But you love each other, right? Asher asked. I can tell. You look at each other the same way Mom and Dad used to look at each other. And Dad, you told me once that when you know something's right, time doesn't matter. You said you knew you wanted to marry Mom after 2 months. So why is 4 months not enough to know about Tessa? Asher, relationships are complicated. No, they're not. Either you love someone and want them in your life forever, or you don't. Do you love Tessa forever? Logan turned to Tessa. Signed slowly. Yes, I do. I love you forever. However long forever is, I want to spend it with you. Tessa's heart stopped. Started again. I love you forever too. So move in with us. Officially. Not basically. Actually. Bring your stuff and your weird healthy cereal that Dad hates, and your 14 pairs of identical black pants, and just be with us. Every day. What do you say? I say. Tessa paused. Thought about her sterile penthouse with the 15th floor view and the emptiness that no amount of expensive furniture could fill. Thought about Logan's house with Asher's toys everywhere, and the workshop in the garage, and the feeling of coming home every time she walked through the door. I say yes. Asher whooped and jumped up and down. Yes, Dad, she said yes. We're going to be a real family. We're already a real family, buddy. Logan signed. But yeah, now it's official. That weekend, Tessa moved out of her penthouse. She didn't take much clothes books, her mother's photo albums, the few things that actually mattered. The expensive furniture stayed. The Tiffany bracelet stayed in the drawer where she'd put it months ago. The emptiness stayed behind. She moved into Logan's house, into their house, into a home that felt lived in and loved in and real. Asher helped her unpack, chattering the whole time. Your room is next to mine. Well, you're sharing Dad's room, but you know what I mean. And there's space in the closet, and Dad cleared out 3 drawers, and we got you a desk for the corner so you can work at home, and oh, I made you this. He handed her a drawing. 3 stick figures holding hands, 1 tall with a beard labeled Dad, 1 small labeled Me, 1 in the middle with long hair labeled Tessa. At the top in careful letters, Our Family. Tessa's eyes filled with tears. Can I hang this in our room? Our room. Yours and mine. We're roommate neighbors. That makes it our room too. Asher beamed. Yeah, hang it wherever you want. That night, Tessa fell asleep in Logan's arms, in a house that smelled like coffee and sawdust and home. Through the wall, she could hear Asher singing to himself in his room. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet and safe and perfect. For the first time in 19 years, Tessa felt like she belonged somewhere. The gala happened on April 15th. They held it at one of Grayson's properties, a renovated warehouse he'd converted into an event space. He donated the venue, the catering, everything. Consider it an investment, he signed to Tessa. In the center and in making up for lost time. 250 people attended. Families from the center, local celebrities, business owners, politicians. The mayor gave a speech about the importance of accessibility and inclusion. Dorothy's grandson and Asher performed a song entirely in sign language that left half the audience in tears. They raised $43,000 at the auction alone, including one item that shocked everyone: Tessa Carroway offering to give a personal sign language lesson. 1 hour with me, he announced. I'll teach you basic ASL, and I'll donate $10,000 in your name to the center if you win. A local CEO bid $15,000 just to match Grayson's donation. The total for the night, $78,000. Combined with the crowdfunding, the grants that were starting to come through, and Grayson's original donation, the Bridge Center was funded for the next 2 years. 2 years of changing lives. 2 years of building connections. 2 years of proving that silence wasn't empty. It was full of meaning when people chose to listen. At the end of the gala, Tessa stood at the microphone. Logan interpreted beside her. Thank you, she signed. All of you. For believing in this crazy idea that a deaf woman and a carpenter could build something that mattered. For showing up. For donating. For spreading the word. For learning that deaf culture is something worth celebrating, not something that needs fixing. Because of you, 247 families have found connection. and that number is going to grow. Next month, we're expanding to weekend classes. We're starting a program for deaf adults who never learned proper ASL. We're partnering with local schools to provide free sign language education. We're building a library of deaf authors and deaf artists and deaf history because our stories matter. This is just the beginning. Together, we're going to change Tennessee's understanding of what it means to be deaf. Together, we're going to build bridges everywhere. Thank you for being part of this. The room erupted in applause. But Tessa couldn't hear it. She saw hands waving in the air, the deaf applause, the sign for appreciation and celebration. She saw her father clapping with tears on his face. She saw Logan smiling at her like she'd hung the moon. She saw Asher jumping up and down signing, "That's my Tessa, that's my family." And she saw 250 people who believed that what they'd built mattered. After the gala, after everyone left, after they'd cleaned up and counted the donations and celebrated the success, Logan drove Tessa and Asher home. Asher fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted from performing and excitement. Today was perfect. Tessa signed one-handed from the passenger seat. Today was just the start. Logan signed back. Wait until you see what we build next. What's next? Whatever we want. The center is funded. We have support. We have momentum. We have each other. What do you want, Tessa? Not for the center. For you. For us. What do you want? Tessa thought about it. About everything she had built in 4 months. About the father who was finally learning her language. About the man who saw her when she was invisible. About the little boy who'd adopted her as family. I want this, she signed. Exactly this. The center. You, Asher, the families we help. The difference we make. I want to keep building, keep connecting, keep proving that love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. I want forever with you. However that looks. Logan pulled over, turned to face her fully. Marry me. Tessa's hands froze. What? Marry me. I know it's fast. I know we've only been together 4 months. But Asher's right. When you know, you know. And I know. I want forever with you. I want to build the center together and raise Asher together and make dinner together and fight about who forgot to take out the trash and wake up every morning knowing you're there. I want all of it. Will you marry me? Logan. Don't answer now. Think about it. Take your time. I just needed you to know. I love you. I want to marry you. Whenever you're ready. Tessa looked at him. At this man who'd seen her signing happy birthday to herself in a cafe and decided to say hello. This man who'd helped her build a dream. This man who loved her in both languages spoken and signed. This man who was offering her forever. Yes, she signed. Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. Not in 6 months or a year. Now. Soon. As soon as possible. Because you're right. When you know, you know. And I know. Logan kissed her. Deep and long and full of promise. In the back seat, Asher stirred. Are you guys kissing again? Wait. Did something happen? Did Dad finally ask? Ask what? Tessa signed. If you'll marry us, Dad's been practicing the proposal for weeks. I helped him pick the words. Did he mess it up? He messed it up, didn't he? He didn't mess it up. Tessa signed, laughing and crying at the same time. He was perfect. And I said yes. Asher unbuckled his seatbelt and launched himself between the front seats to hug them both. We're getting married. We're officially becoming a family. This is the best day ever. The best day yet, Logan corrected. We have a lot more best days coming. And they did. So many more best days ahead. Built on connection, sustained by love, made possible because one lonely woman signed happy birthday to herself and one grieving man decided to say hello. Sometimes the greatest miracles don't come from speaking louder. They come from learning to listen better. They got married 6 weeks later on a Saturday morning at the Bridge Center. Not in a church, not in some fancy venue, right there in the main room where 247 families had learned to communicate with each other, where Tessa had taught her first class, where Logan had built every table and chair with his own hands, where they'd fallen in love while building something bigger than themselves. 50 people attended, all of them signing, every single one. Grayson walked Tessa down the aisle. His hands moved as they walked. "Your mother would be so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too, Dad. You kept your promise. You showed up. I'll keep showing up, for the rest of my life. You have my word." They reached the front where Logan stood in a simple gray suit, Asher beside him in matching colors. The boy was practically vibrating with excitement. The officiant was Patricia Grayson's ASL tutor, who'd become ordained specifically for this wedding. She signed the entire ceremony. "We're gathered here today to witness the marriage of Tessa Carroway and Logan Hayes. But this isn't just a marriage. It's a merging of families, a celebration of connection, a testament to what happens when people choose to see each other. Really see each other." Logan took Tessa's hands. His own hands were shaking slightly as he signed his vows. "Tessa, I saw you signing happy birthday to yourself in a cafe 4 months ago, and I thought my heart would break, because I knew that loneliness. I'd lived that loneliness after Marcus died. But then you looked up, and you saw me signing back, and everything changed. You taught me that grief doesn't have to be the end of the story. You taught me that love can grow in the spaces loss creates. You taught me that family isn't just who you're born with, it's who you choose. I choose you. Today and every day. I promise to always sign good morning when you wake up. I promise to learn every new sign you teach me. I promise to make Asher do his homework even when he complains. I promise to love you in both languages, signed and lived, forever." Tessa was crying, happy tears that she didn't bother wiping away. Her hands moved through her vows. "Logan, you saw me when I was invisible. You spoke my language when nobody else would. You built a center with me, not because you had to, but because you believed in the dream. You let me into your life, into your home, into your family. You let me love Asher like he's mine. And you love me not in spite of my deafness, but including it, celebrating it, understanding that it's part of what makes me who I am. I promise to always be patient when you mess up signs. I promise to keep teaching you even when you think you know everything. I promise to love Asher like my own son. I promise to build this life with you whatever it looks like, wherever it goes. I choose you. I choose us, forever." Patricia signed the traditional words. "Do you, Logan, take Tessa to be your wife?" "I do." "Do you, Tessa, take Logan to be your husband?" "I do." "Then by the power vested in me, I pronounce you married. You may kiss." They kissed while 50 people waved their hands in the air, deaf applause that Tessa could feel in her bones, even if she couldn't hear it. When they pulled apart, Asher was tugging on Logan's sleeve. "Can I do my part now? You said I could do my part." "Go ahead, buddy." Asher turned to face everyone signing with the exaggerated enthusiasm only a 7-year-old could manage. "Hi everyone, I'm Asher and Logan is my dad, and now Tessa is my mom, which is so cool because I've wanted a mom again for so long, and Tessa is perfect. She's nice, and she's smart, and she teaches me signs, and she makes really good pancakes. Way better than Dad's burnt ones. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone here because you're all part of why this happened. You came to the center, and you learned, and you supported us, and you made our family possible. So, thank you. Also, there's cake in the other room, and I helped decorate it, so you should definitely try some." Everyone laughed, hands waving everywhere. The reception was simple. Cake that Asher had indeed helped decorate it was lopsided and covered in too much frosting and absolutely perfect. Coffee and tea. Small sandwiches Dorothy had made. Music playing that only the hearing guests enjoyed, while the deaf guests felt the vibrations through the floor and danced anyway. Grayson approached Tessa and Logan during the reception. He signed carefully, making sure every word was right. "I want to make a toast. Is that okay?" "Of course." Tessa signed. Grayson stood, waited for everyone's attention and began signing. Someone voiced his words for the few hearing guests who didn't know ASL yet. 24 years ago, my daughter was born. And for 19 of those years, I failed her. I failed to learn her language. I failed to see her. I failed to understand that deafness wasn't something to overcome. It was something to embrace. But then Tessa did something extraordinary. She gave me an ultimatum. 6 months to learn or lose her forever. And that ultimatum saved my life. It forced me to stop running from the grief I'd been avoiding since my wife died. It forced me to see my daughter for who she truly is, a woman with courage. I'll never have compassion. I'll never match envision. I'll never fully understand. She took her pain and built this center. She took her loneliness and created connection for hundreds of families. And she took a chance on a carpenter with a grieving heart and a 7-year-old son and built a family. Tessa, you are the bravest person I know. Logan, you are the luckiest man alive. Asher, you are the smartest kid for knowing Tessa was special from day one. To the new family, may you always sign good morning. May you always choose presence over perfection. And may you always remember that love isn't about speaking the same language, it's about being willing to learn. Everyone raised their glasses. More hand-waving applause. Rachel approached with Emma. The little girl who'd been one of their first students signed shyly to Tessa. You look beautiful, like a princess. But better because princesses in movies can't sign. Thank you, Emma. You look beautiful too. Are you happy? So happy. Good. You should be happy. You made me happy. Before I came here, I thought nobody understood me. Now I have friends and my mom can talk to me for real and everything's better, so you should be happy because you made everything better. Tessa hugged her. Over Emma's shoulder, she caught Logan's eye across the room. He was talking with Dorothy and Marcus the kid, but he felt her looking and turned, signed across the crowded room. I love you. I love you too. As the reception wound down, as people started leaving with hugs and congratulations and promises to see them at the center. On Tuesday, Asher tugged on Tessa's dress. Can I call you Mom now? Or is that weird? Dad said I should ask first. Tessa knelt down to his level. You can call me whatever feels right to you. What feels right is Mom, because that's what you are. You take care of me and teach me things and make me feel safe. That's what moms do. So Mom, yes. Can we go home now? I'm tired, and I want to show you the surprise I made for your room. Our room, Tessa corrected. We're a family now. Everything's ours. They drove home to their home, not Logan's house anymore, but their shared space, and Asher led them to the bedroom. He'd hung drawings all over the walls, pictures of the three of them, pictures of the bridge center, pictures of Marcus, the uncle who died with wings and a halo. So Uncle Marcus can be part of our family too, Asher explained. Even though he's in heaven. Dad says people we love never really leave us. They live in our memories and our hearts and our signs. Is that true? That's true, Tessa signed. Your uncle would be so proud of you. I think he sent you to us. I think he saw Dad was sad and I was lonely, and he found you in that cafe and made Dad look up at the exact right moment. That's what I think. Do you think that's possible? Logan's eyes filled with tears. Yeah, buddy. I think that's possible. Good. Then everyone's where they're supposed to be. Uncle Marcus is in heaven. We're here together, and everyone's happy. That night, after Asher fell asleep, surrounded by his drawings and his stuffed animals and his dreams of family, Logan and Tessa sat on the back porch. Can you believe we did this? Tessa signed. 4 months ago, I was signing happy birthday to myself alone. Now I'm married with a son and a center and a father who actually shows up. It feels like a dream. It's not a dream. It's just what happens when people stop waiting and start building. Logan took her hand. What do you want next? For the center, for us, for everything. I want to expand the center to other cities. I want every deaf kid in Tennessee to have access to what we built. I want to train more teachers, create more programs, reach more families. I want... She paused. I want to adopt. Logan's hands stilled. Adopt. Asher asked if he could call me Mom, and I realized I want that. Legally. Officially. I want to be his mother in every way. Is that okay? Okay, Tessa, I've been hoping you'd want that. Asher's been asking me since you moved in. I kept telling him we had to wait, had to give you time. But if you're ready, I'm ready. I want to be his mom. For real. Then we'll start the paperwork Monday. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Tessa signed, "There's something else." "What?" "I want us to have a baby, eventually. Not now, we have too much going on, but someday. I want to have a child with you. I want Asher to have a sibling. I want—" She hesitated. "I want to see what it's like to raise a child from the beginning, to teach them sign language from birth, to watch them grow up bilingual and comfortable in both worlds." "Is that something you want?" Logan pulled her close. "Yes, absolutely yes. When the time is right, we'll have a baby, or two, or three, whatever feels right. I want everything with you, Tessa. The center, the family, the chaos, the love, all of it. Even when I drive you crazy. Especially then. Crazy means alive. Crazy means caring. Crazy means we're not just existing, we're living." Monday morning, they filed the adoption papers. Asher found out and cried happy tears. "I'm getting a real mom. A forever mom who can't change her mind." "I would never change my mind," Tessa signed. "You're mine. You've been mine since the day you learned 23 signs just to talk to me." "That's because you're awesome. Also, can I tell everyone at school that you're adopting me? Because I really want to tell everyone." "Tell everyone." Asher told everyone. His teachers, his classmates, the lunch lady, the janitor, random kids on the playground. "My dad married Tessa, and now she's adopting me, and we're a real family, and it's the best thing that ever happened." The adoption was finalized 3 months later. Same judge who'd handled Logan's custody of Asher after his wife died. She smiled when they walked into the courtroom. "Mr. Hayes, we meet again, under much better circumstances this time." "Much better, Your Honor." The judge looked at Asher. "Young man, do you understand what's happening today?" "Yes, Tessa is officially becoming my mom. Like legal mom. On paper and everything." "And is that what you want?" "More than anything in the whole world." "Tessa, do you promise to love and care for Asher as your son?" "I do." "Then by the power vested in me by the state of Tennessee, I grant this adoption. Congratulations. You're officially a family." Asher launched himself at Tessa. "Mom, you're officially my mom." They celebrated at the Bridge Center, brought cake for everyone, announced the adoption to all the families who'd become extended family over the past 7 months. Emma ran up to Asher. "Tessa's your real mom now." "Yep." "That's so cool. I wish Tessa was everyone's mom. She's the best." "She is the best, but she's mine. Well, mine and Dad's. We're sharing her." That night, Grayson came over for dinner. It was the first time he'd been to their house. He looked around at the toys scattered everywhere, the photos covering the walls, the lived-in chaos of a real home. "This is nice," he signed. "Warm. Nothing like my house." "You could make your house warm too," Tessa signed. "Fill it with pictures, with people, with life." "I'm thinking about selling it actually, that mansion. It's too big for one person, too empty. I'm looking at smaller places. Maybe something near here so I can be close to you and Asher. Maybe something with a yard so Asher can come over and play." "You're serious?" "I'm serious. I'm tired of living in a museum. I want to live in a home. I want to be present in your life, in my grandson's life. I've missed enough. I'm not missing any more." After dinner, Asher showed Grayson his room, pointed out all his favorite things. The stuffed animal Uncle Marcus had given him, the drawings he'd made, the signs he'd learned. "Want to see my favorite sign, Grandpa?" Asher asked. "Yes." Asher signed slowly, making sure his grandfather understood. "Family isn't just blood. It's who shows up." Grayson's eyes filled with tears. "Where did you learn that?" "Mom taught me." "Well, Tessa, but she's Mom now. She said Uncle Marcus used to say it. And it's true. You're showing up now, Grandpa. So you're family. For real." "Thank you, Asher. That means more than you know." As the months passed, the Bridge Center grew. They opened a second location in Memphis, then a third in Knoxville, trained 40 new ASL teachers, served over 1,000 families, became the model for deaf-hearing integration programs across the South. Tessa gave talks at universities, at conferences, at schools, shared her story, advocated for better deaf education, better accessibility, better understanding. She became the face of deaf culture in Tennessee, but she never forgot why she started. Every Tuesday and Thursday, she still taught the 9 a.m. beginner class, still greeted every new family personally, still remembered every child's name, still made time for the quiet conversations in the hallway where parents admitted they were scared or overwhelmed or didn't know if they could do this. "You can do this," she always signed. "I believe in you. And more importantly, your child believes in you. Just keep showing up. That's all that matters." Logan expanded his carpentry business specifically to build adaptive furniture for deaf children. Desks with built-in vibration alerts, beds with light-up alarm systems, playsets designed for kids who needed visual cues instead of auditory ones. His workshop became an extension of the center's mission. Asher thrived, became bilingual, fluent in both English and ASL by age 8, made friends easily because he could communicate with everyone, told anyone who'd listen about his mom who was deaf and his uncle who died and how his family was proof that love was louder than words. On Tessa's 24th birthday, exactly 1 year after that lonely day in the cafe, they threw a party at the Bridge Center. 300 people came. Every family they'd ever helped, every teacher who'd ever worked there, every volunteer who'd ever believed in the mission. Dorothy and Marcus the kid, Rachel and Emma, Grayson who'd kept his promise to show up every single week for 12 months straight. "Make a speech," someone signed. Tessa stood in the center of the room, looked around at all these faces, all these people who'd become family. 1 year ago today, I was alone in a cafe signing happy birthday to myself. I thought that was my life, permanent loneliness, permanent invisibility, permanent silence. But then a stranger saw me. A stranger spoke my language, and everything changed. Not because he saved me, because he saw me. And that made me brave enough to save myself. I built this center not just for the deaf community, but for everyone. Because the world is full of people who need to be seen. People who speak different languages, literal and metaphorical. People who feel alone in crowded rooms. People who've given up hoping that connection is possible. I'm here to tell you it's possible. It's always possible. You just have to be willing to learn someone else's language, to put in the work, to show up. My father did that. He spent 19 years absent and then chose to show up, and it changed both our lives. My husband did that. He saw a lonely woman and chose to say hello, and it changed 3 lives, mine, his, and our sons. Every family in this room has done that. You've chosen to learn, to connect, to bridge the gap between deaf and hearing, between understanding and ignorance, between isolation and community. Thank you for that. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for proving that love isn't about speaking louder, it's about listening better. The room erupted in waving hands. Logan came up beside her, signed where everyone could see. "And thank you for teaching us how to listen. Happy birthday, Tessa. Here's to many more." They cut the cake, sang happy birthday. In sign language, hands moving in unison, everyone synchronized. Tessa stood in the middle of it all, surrounded by people who'd learned her language, who'd chosen to see her, who'd proven that she was never meant to be invisible. She'd just been waiting for people brave enough to look. Later that night, after everyone left, after they'd cleaned up and locked the center, Logan drove them home. Asher fell asleep in the back seat like always. 1 year, Tessa signed from the passenger seat. "Can you believe it's only been 1 year? Best year of my life," Logan signed back. Well, except for the year Asher was born. And the year I married you. Okay, top 3. Top 3 works for me. When they got home, they carried Asher to bed. He stirred slightly as Logan set him down. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. Best family ever. Love you too, buddy. Tessa signed, even though his eyes were closed. In their room, Tessa stood at the window, looking out at the neighborhood. At the homes full of families. At the streets full of possibility. At the life she'd built from the ashes of loneliness. Logan came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. What are you thinking about? He signed over her shoulder. About how far we've come. About how much has changed. About how scared I was that night a year ago when I threw my father's bracelet across the room and thought I'd spend my whole life alone. You're not alone. I know. I'm the opposite of alone. I have you and Asher and the center and my father and this whole community we've built. I have more family than I ever dreamed possible. And it's only going to grow. More centers, more families, more impact. Maybe even a baby brother or sister for Asher someday. Someday soon, Tessa signed. I'm ready. Are you? I'm ready for anything with you. They stood there in the darkness, holding each other, thinking about the year that had passed and the years ahead. About the center that started as a dream and became a movement. About the father who finally learned his daughter's language. About the little boy who called her mom and meant it with his whole heart. About the man who'd seen her signing to herself and chosen to say hello. About how sometimes the greatest miracles don't announce themselves with trumpets and fanfare. Sometimes they start with 2 hands moving in a cafe. Sometimes they start with someone choosing to look when everyone else looks away. Sometimes they start with a simple sign, "Happy Birthday." And sometimes, if you're brave enough to sign back those 2 words, can change everything. 365 days after Tessa signed Happy Birthday to herself alone, she fell asleep in a house full of love, in a life full of purpose, in a world that finally saw her. Not because she'd gotten louder, because other people had learned to listen. And that made all the difference.